What's going on, Blue Crew? It's your boy Big Blue here giving another Borderlands 3 video. Today I bring you my highest damaging Moze build. I love this thing. It is crazy with some great survivability. Let's get into it. Okay, so right off the bat, guys, I want to warn you that you will definitely down yourself with this build, as you just seen me do. Every gun I have does explosive damage, and we have torque cross promotion to make that splash radius even bigger, so you definitely will down yourself. This is a build meant to be used at mid to almost long range. Anything too close and you will kill yourself almost instantaneously. Yes, it won't be a problem to get up because you do so much damage, but the fact that you go down from killing yourself from blowing everything up is a problem. I do have quite a bit of survivability in this build, from lifesteal to shield regeneration to all kinds of different things to keep you alive while you're doing these incredible amounts of damage. I know I've said this in multiple videos before, but I use Athena's because I can go pretty much a straight line, kill mobs, kill a boss. I can test everything out at once, and it just works really well. But as you can see, everything gets murdered. I have short fuse in this build to help give me some more damage boost. I have, like I said, torque cross promotion for that splash damage. I'm using guns that have that splash radius on them. Excuse me, splash damage on action skill N. And I made a video on this gun here, the Miscreant, yesterday. I knew this gun was going to be a monster on Moze. I actually reviewed it on Amara and it still did incredibly well. But it's a whole different beast on Moze because she is the explosive expert. We'll say demolition woman, shall we say, in the game. And nothing can stop you when you're in this build. It doesn't matter. Armor, health, shields, anything, you can down them. Bosses actually melt faster than these enemies do. One of the problems that I have with these enemies is that they're smaller targets and the Miscreant doesn't have very good aim. The bullets kind of sway and move how they want. But I have other guns in here that'll be able to handle, as you can see, this gun handles mobs just fine. But I have other guns in here that will handle mobs better. So while I'm running through this Athena's run, I will show you guys the different guns that I'll be using or that are in this build. Again, we're using Vampire to get that lifesteal. That's one of Moze's main things, to get her lifesteal. But of course, rushing a fence is great if you're constantly moving to get that extra lifesteal. Okay, so now I'm going to use this calcium just to show you a little bit different of how well it works. People underestimate the calcium now, and I just really don't understand it. After it got its nerf, shall we say, they act like the gun is not viable anymore on Moze. It's still a very good Moze gun. It's just on other Vault Hunters, it's not God tier anymore, no. But on Moze, it is an explosion sticky gun, so it does great damage. One of the guns that I wish came in other elements is the Gargoyle. I have a Gargoyle in this build because it does those sticky grenades. And even when I kill Tron with it, you'll see, it just murders him and he has nothing to do with corrosive, and it still just wipes the floor with him. This build is centered around a lot of ammo regen, grenade regen, because I'm using that Blast Master class mod for Moze, which is going to be the longer I hold down the trigger, the more splash damage is increased. When I already have 200% increased splash damage on action skill N, that coupled with me being able to keep shooting until I have to reload makes the damage just skyrocket. I'm also going to be using a Pearl for those consecutive hits to increase that splash damage even more. And this penetrating hero is just amazing. Can you get this? Can you get the penetrating hero in Borderlands 3 as a double penetrating hero like you could in Borderlands 2? Not that you need it, because I don't have one. I haven't seen any other streamers or anybody with one. But it's honestly not necessary. This gun does so much damage just being a base model. But if you can get a double penetrating one, please let me know in the comments. If you have one, I'd love to trade you something for it. I have a lot of good guns now. And anything you have would definitely help me, because that double penetrating one, I could really do some work with that. As you can see with that torque cross promotion, if I shoot the ground near these guys, it blows everybody up. It's so satisfying to actually watch that. I'm surprised I haven't seen many other streamers or many other YouTubers use any of these guns to make a build for Moze. It's almost like these guns were meant for Moze. I said this in a previous video, in one of my review videos. Certain guns seem like they were made for certain people, and the guns that I'm using now seem like they were all made especially for Moze. Yes, they're viable in other Vault Hunters, but on Moze, they take on a whole different caliber of strength. Again, the Gargoyle only drops in corrosive, but it's not like it matters. It still rips through everybody, even though it is a corrosive gun fighting shields and fighting flesh. When we make our way up here to Trunt, I will show you my favorite weapon for bossing. It won't work on bosses that are farther away because, like I said, those bullets are a little unpredictable. But on enemies like Trunt, the Trunt brothers, and pretty much anybody but Grave Ward and people and flying enemies, it'll work well on. Even on most flying enemies, it works pretty good on. It just depends on their distance. Distance is a big part in this gun. But let me show you how well this gun performs. And he's dead. That's why I love the Miscreant. Alright guys, let's get straight into the build. My main damaging weapon is going to be this Rapid Miscreant. That's why mine fires so fast, because I have the prefix Rapid. It makes this thing go crazy. All the guns that I'm going to be using will have that splash damage anoint on it, which just increases my damage significantly. Especially with the Moze, you know. I know you guys just saw me do a clip with the Miscreant, but I wanted to show you again. And this is me without using the double barrel version of it. I have a Calcium, also with consecutive hits. Does really good damage. So people sleep on the Calcium now. Like I was saying earlier, people are like, oh, well, it got nerfed, it's not as good. This gun is still not just as good as it was, just as good as it was on Moze. Maybe not on everybody else, but on Moze, it still rips. I have another clip here of me killing Grave Ward before he even has a chance to do anything. And this is one with consecutive hits, and I am using a Pearl. There's no splash damage, there's no extra elemental damage or anything like that, and it still just ruins him. I finally got an Unkempt Herald. I actually got this one from the Quartermaster while I was farming with Amara, and I was just like, it's time for me to make a Moze build apparently. So as you would have guessed, the Herald is a beast of a gun. It doesn't take long at all to chew through his health. You've already seen that I had one of these before. I got another one. I did a video on the Gargoyle. Link will be up here. But I got this one with splash damage like I wanted for so long. And it just shreds everything. I really think the Gargoyle may be my favorite pistol from the DLC. Not saying a lot, because there's a lot of really good pistols from the DLC, but I love the sticky grenade mechanic on this gun and how well it works with that 400% increased damage. Got an enhanced Old God with Incinerary and extra Incinerary action skill. Cloning Maddening Tracker with that weapon damage. Using a Pearl with that fire rate and magazine size, because I am going to be using a Blastmaster, so my splash damage will go up even more the longer I hold the trigger. This has that weapon damage, weapon magazine size, and some damage reduction for a little bit more survivability in there. And the bottomless mags, which is probably our most important tree in this build, because we want to be holding that trigger as long as we can to get as much splash damage as we can. Got some more incinerated damage from Cloud of Lead, Stoke the Embers for some more incendiary damage. Redistribution just for the ammo regen, because ammo regen is very important to this build. You wouldn't think, but Scrappy actually helps quite a bit with that weapon damage, because you're going to be moving most of the time with Russian offense to give you some more life steal. This is going to be how you stay alive most of the time with this build. Scorching RPMs for that critical. Can't go wrong with that critical. I got the Iron Bank just for more magazine size. The bigger magazine, the better. That way I don't have to reload. I'm using some for the road, just for the infinite ammo when I get out of Iron Bear. When I'm fighting bosses, they're usually dead in those 5 seconds, so it doesn't really matter anything past that. And I have 4 just for that constant ammo regeneration. Again, ammo regeneration is the most important thing in this build. In the Demolition Woman tree, Fire in the Skag Den for that incendiary damage, 2 points in the Grizzle for that cooldown, Stainless Steel Bear. So this damage actually applies to you also, to Moze. You get that that 20% Iron Bear damage actually applies to you, so you get that extra damage. 5 points in the Torque Cross promotion for that splash damage. Means of Destruction just for the ammo chance and the grenade chance, you know. Pull the Holy Pin, crit shots with my grenades, it's nice. Vampire, more life steal, more life. Tried to make sure you could survive, but at the same time, deal tons of damage. Explosive Punctuation for more action skill cooldown. I found out the best way for me to do this is to put like 2 in here and 1 or 2 in here. Kind of mix it because they have diminishing returns, so this works out best for me for the action skill cooldown. And Short Fuse. So Short Fuse is crazy with this build. I'm using all guns to do explosion damage or splash damage of some type, so this just intensifies all the damage that I'm doing. In the Shield of Retribution tree, Armored Infantry just for some more gun damage and that damage reduction on top of the damage reduction that I have here, which is really nice. And I only have 1 in Drowning in Brass. I didn't really see that I needed more, honestly. The damage was already so significant I didn't need to put more in here. You could have put this point anywhere else you wanted, maybe your shield recharge rate and your max shields. But I wanted to try to squeeze a little bit more damage out of there, not that I needed it. That is the build, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Like always, Blue Crew, stay medicated, stay elevated. Till the next video, guys. Peace.